Hello everyone, Darkizer here, welcoming you back to my latest episode of my Space Engineers Survival Series. Had a couple of interesting developments in our off-screen time. I had a few difficulties getting my recovery vehicle to launch and had to make a few adjustments on the fly, as it were, and now it appears that I'm having issues with my drilling rig, which does not upset me too terribly because I was done with the drilling part of the operation. However, the fact that it appears that the problem stems from the fact that one of the turrets shot up the other turret, that bothers me a little bit. This is the maiden voyage of my recovery vehicle, which I still don't know what I'm going to call it. It came out to be much more of an ungainly vehicle than I thought it was going to. What do we have flying around up there? Fort Victoria Cargo Explosives and NATO 25x1. I have my fighter ready to go and loaded, but I don't know if I want to be chasing after something whose cargo is explosives. I really just don't think that that's going to be conducive. I'm getting rid of all of this extraneous material here, mainly because I have to go down and grind up all of this stuff anyway. So there's no real point in holding on to some conveyor tubes that are not hooked up to anything in any case. And now I have to be careful because this thing is much bigger on the backside than I had anticipated. Let's go ahead. Well, let's start from over here. Well, I have to get the gun later. Make sure I'm not gonna ram my backside into anything. Looks like we're alright. I'd like to start down on one end. I don't know if I can crowd myself in down here without hitting the wall. But I'd like to start down here. There we go. Well, we might have to come back and clean up some of this with our hand grinder. But that's the way these things work sometimes. I'm thinking if I keep capturing other vehicles, I may have to go ahead and build myself a grinding pit just for getting rid of all of the armor plate and all of the shells of all of the stuff that's left over after I take out all of the good stuff. I'm thinking that the large-scale grinding vehicle, for the number of thrusters and batteries and so forth that it has on it, may not have been the best idea because the thing is very ungainly. Alrighty, now we go over this way, clean things up. Alrighty. That everything? That appears to be everything. Always make sure you turn off your tools, ladies and gentlemen. I cannot tell you how many times I have welded myself to death. More times than I can count. I am out of practice. Okay. Now that's the first thing I needed to get done today. Actually, the first thing I needed to get done was to move all my vehicles outside. Why did I leave all the lights on the rover? I had gotten to the point where all of the batteries were charged on everything, or as near as needed to be. Everything was close to 3/4 full. And then I began to, again, notice that I was having trouble with everything beginning to fill up, and so I decided to shut everything off. I moved everything outside. I shut off everything except for the hydrogen engine. And now I want to come in and I want to grind all of this out and set it up better, but I have to be careful. I still have ice over here. I still have batteries with a charge on them, and I still have a hydrogen engine that is full of hydrogen because I still have, oh, it's not quite full of hydrogen. Well, at the rate that that's going down. Okay. Once I took the ice out of the hydrogen generators, well, in that case, I'll worry less about that. Now let me see. I think I would be better off just going ahead and grinding everything up first. And I wanted to do it with my grinding ship simply because it would be faster, but I really don't think I've got room. So let me go ahead and bring the rover back in, and I'm going to use that as a temporary space for holding everything. Oop, oop. I actually want the silly thing to be in reverse. Okay. Alrighty. And I might as well turn all those lights back on that I just turned off. Now, fortunately, all of this is light armor block. So all of this should grind down fairly quickly. And then it all goes through the system out into the big cargo container outside. And then I bring in the Scarab and I drill things out a little more. Well, okay, I drill things out a lot more. As I had announced at the end of my previous episode, I have decided to go ahead with a flying vehicle instead of going with a crawler, primarily because of the rough terrain. You build it bigger, you build it better. That's how we do things. And since we actually take no losses except when we grind down batteries, I am more than happy to go ahead and reset the system, particularly because I desperately need more production space. I need at least one more refinery, possibly more than that. And now power is less of a problem now that I have an almost infinite amount of ice to work with. So I may be less concerned about the power conservation modules on the refinery, and I may be more concerned about the yield and the speed modules. Oop. That's what happens when you grind down the bracket behind your flat screen TV, folks. I think I'm going to leave the blocks that I have mounted in the ceiling, just because they provide light for now. Oop. At one time, all of these were filled with ice. And as you can see, I still have 320K worth of stone. I have 2 3/4 million. Actually, I have more ice than that. I have over 3 million, 7 million. Ugh. I have a ridiculous amount of stone and ice. So I will not be worried about iron or nickel or silicon anytime soon. And were it not for the fact that compared to wind turbines, solar panels are currently very inefficient, you better believe that I would have the largest solar farm in history camped outside. Unfortunately, I'm having so much trouble protecting protecting what I have, and a lot of it is self-inflicted. My guns are attempting to shoot at the Terminators and thereby damaging my equipment. I may actually break down and go through the effort of setting up a build and repair. I might as well go ahead and get rid of these as well because only one of them was programmed. But I may actually go through the effort of... Damn it, now I lost my train of thought. Well, if it was that important, it'll come back around. Oh, build and repair. I may go through the effort of setting up additional build and repair systems in such a way that they can attempt to repair my outdoor part of my base just to try to keep the damn Terminators at bay. One of the things I would really like as a quality of life feature for the user interface is for the game to remember my settings. If I click on hide all, then I want, or hide empty rather, then I want hide empty to stay clicked. Darn it. Because all of this additional mouse clicking gets tedious. Also causes repetitive stress injury. Anybody that tells you that that is a hoax is lying to you. I had to actually shut these off so they'd stop drawing ice. So I don't regret the mining rig. It did take quite a while to set up, and now the thing is totaled beyond repair. But that's alright. Same thing. I can build a new one. I can build it better. That and the fact that the plumbing was actually the hardest part, and that's still there. So, nope, and that's empty. So now I don't have to feel bad about grinding this down. I apologize that this particular part of the episode, and I may try to fast forward over this or what have you. I apologize that this particular part of the episode is going to be pretty dull. Now, unfortunately, once I sever that, well, what we're going to do, okay, the small cargo container is empty. So first we take the cargo container. Then we take everything leading to the cargo container. And we feed it out here through the assembler. Then we take the assembler. And boy, I hope I've taken all of the ingots out of this thing, otherwise I'm going to have a mess on the floor. Okay, well that worked. Nope, we're doing... okay, we're alright. Oh, it's my energy. Well, I was looking at the wrong thing. I think I've taken everything out of the survival kit as well. Okay. Now that's still piped in, which means I can get rid of this. Not really sure I need to get rid of the survival kit, but just to say so. Now, everything over on that side of the room stays. Now comes the hard part. Now, the only connector I have out here is that one. So what I might want to do, I wonder if that would work. If we cut this here and cut that one there, we'll go ahead, we'll put that back. Now, does that still don't want to place? Because, no, I still don't have any steel plates. Now I have steel plates. And I think that will take care of that problem. And I'm going to hold on to these plates in order to lay everything out. And do I? Yep, I actually dropped a few. All right. Now then. Now we take this outside to prevent damaging it. Assuming I don't crash it into something. And then we come over here and pick up the scarab. There we go, nice clean room. I probably should have taken the blocks off the ceiling. I'm not worried too much about expanding in that direction, so I don't think I'm going to worry about that. All right, I think that's good enough. Okay, now first thing I have to do, well, we're going to lay in a few more floor blocks. Now we have the batteries there, and I think, actually, to be perfectly honest, I don't think that there's a problem with me putting in a third one. And then the next thing I want to do is I want to pipe in the first build and repair system to actually start building all of this stuff. These things have, no, they don't have any, they don't have ports on top. So they have front and back. All right, so what I will do, I actually put that there. Am I going to have room back there for that? I might as well get my drill back. I put it away because I didn't think I was going to need it. Alrighty. I even took it off my hotbar. Wow, that is a drastic step for me. Need to grind off the connector. Well, wait a minute. Before I do that, let's go ahead. That would be Pretty foolish of me. Shame on all of you for letting me even consider doing something like that. I don't have any interior plate. I don't have anything for building this stuff. What kind of loyal fans are you that you would let me do something that incredibly foolish? Well, that actually fits. I'm kind of surprised. And now, unfortunately, I realize the flaw in my plan, which is the fact that I can't access anything through the current terminal. Although I can always go large steel tubes, small steel tubes, construction components. Now, even if I don't have this running, it's ported in. So there we go. Now all I need are steel tubes, or steel plate rather, and then everything else I can lay out, and then the BAR can weld it once I turn it on. Alrighty. And I want to make sure we'll bring that out to there. Yeah, I may have to take that stuff out of the ceiling, but I think that'll work. And then those two are tied together, and to be perfectly honest, I'm just going to go ahead and go for 3. And now the question is, do I want to have the assembler? I can have the assembler. Oop, wrong way. I can have the assembler right there if I want, but then it's not tied into the rest of the system. Or it is tied into the rest of the system, but I won't be able to access anything. We have room up here? Yeah, we have room up here. Okay, we'll do that then. Because I still like my idea of having the... And we're going to build 2. I still like my idea of having a single cargo container that everything feeds into. So we're going to put that there. We're going to put that there. That goes there. And which side? That would be the far side, the right-hand side. So that's there. So we put one of those there, put one of those there, one of those there. And again, I don't have the BAR operating just yet, simply because I want to make sure I get everything laid out the way I want it first, and then I'll go ahead and drop that in, and then I'll run another BAR over here, or I may run one further outside, since I seem to be doing more shipbuilding outside and I seem to be doing more construction outside. Now I know that this part is doing what I want it to do. So, now this is unusual. Why is it building? Interesting. Yeah, because this build and repair system isn't built yet. And I know it's within range. It's set to furthest first. And the automatic repair system is set at highest priority. Interesting. Well, if I have to go out and weld it myself, I will. There we go. And now we're all plumbed in. And it figures that that system out there cuts off right about here, which means that both of these systems will work on anything that's outside, but once it gets past the assemblers, then I'm back to just having the one system. I suppose I'm okay with that. I'm trying to put everything along this wall. I will have to wind up painting all of this stuff just because I'm getting a little tired of Battleship Gray. And I don't know if I want to put this up here or not. If I put it up here, then I'm blocking off. Well, to be perfectly honest, if I put it up here, all I'm blocking off is the BAR, which I don't care about. And the batteries, which I also don't really care about. If I put that there, yeah, I'll still be able to see. That'll work. Unfortunately, I forgot where the port is for that, so we're going to have to let that go for now. Because I'm an idiot. Now I know I need at least 2 of the oxygen hydrogen generators in order to keep up with the hydrogen engine with the amount of ice that I have. I'm beginning to think that more would be better. You said ports on top, so we're gonna do that. And I'm going to fall and injure myself again. Now this is... Nope. Yeah, that's what I thought. Okay. Just because I think these look cool when they're running, so I like to have them where I can see them. I apologize, folks, this is going to be a longer episode than I thought. I think the other thing that I'm going to need, I'm not really sure where to put it, I'm going to go ahead and put together a hydrogen tank. They're huge. They take up way too much space. I don't like having them around. I worry about having something blow up. But it's getting to the point where I'm dealing with sufficient amounts of hydrogen that it might not be a bad idea. There we go. Now, if I really want to, I can go behind the refineries and add the modules and so on and so forth. Everything here will be set up. And I have this huge area here for the parking of vehicles and the setting up of vehicle offloading systems and so on and so forth. Conveyors, is this a conveyor as well? No, that's battery, okay. Actually, we'll get rid of that one. There we go. And things are starting to move a little bit. So there we have it. I still need to take another look at the beast that I have as a quote-unquote recovery vehicle. I may have to grind that down and try again. That looks like it's quite the monstrosity, and I don't really think that it's going to accomplish what I wanted it to accomplish. So I may go back to a small block version, or I may just have to completely rebuild that one. That system out there should help take care of all of the damage that gets done when the guns are shooting at the Terminators and so forth. And I think I'm going to try to upgrade the guns so that they are actual Gatling cannons and I can feed them through the conveyor system instead of having to run out and feed them by hand. So there we have it. There's our new system. I have to say that I do apologize that the episode went as long as it did, and I may try to fast forward over some of this so that you can see what I was doing without having to put up with having to actually sit there through all of the grinding and the so on and so forth. But now, as you can see, everything is all set. I have the plumbing running along the top already, and I can just bring over more conveyors and connectors and so forth. I'm definitely going to keep my Rover. I'm definitely going to keep the Scarab, and I have not yet tested my fighter, but that beast over there, I may wind up just cutting that up and just starting over. Building ships is one of the things that I enjoy in Space Engineers, and so there's no reason why I shouldn't indulge in it as often as possible. I look forward to reading your comments. I do appreciate the fact that I have a few new subscribers. Thank you very much for supporting the channel. If you have any suggestions as to which way I should go with the base, should I expand further back? Should I fill up what I have already? My plan, now that I have a quite sufficient base to operate everything on a small scale, I'm thinking of upscaling everything, and oddly enough, and this is going to sound absolutely insane, but I'm actually thinking of building the flyer inside the base as part of the base. And basically just, I keep hollowing out the hill and hollowing out the hill, and I keep adding to the base and adding to the base. And then I convert the entire thing over to a flyer. I dig out the basement underneath, and that's where I put the thrusters, and I dig out the walls, and that's where I put the side armor, and all of my production goes here. And I basically wind up digging out the entire cliffside, building my base from here, and then cutting the whole thing loose, converting it into a ship, and then flying it out of here. It would be the most monumental thing, the craziest thing that I have ever aspired to in Space Engineers, and I've never seen anybody do it before, and I really, really like doing things that I haven't seen anybody do before. So let me know what you all think. Am I nuts? Should I bother trying it, or am I reaching too high and something horrible will happen first? Your input is appreciated. As always, I also appreciate your likes and subscriptions doubly so. This is Dark Kaiser signing off. Thank you for watching.